when I feel like nothing, always feel like I'm running. Both feel we're living worlds apart. It's fucked now, we lost in limbo. Remembering what you said though, and I asked you if we'd make it far. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you've told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said no, 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 no. No, 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 you should. I've earned the cost and now I've paid it. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, please don't go. I know my face a memory erasing. Been a few years since I heard your voice, yeah. Lost a few here, but it's not by choice, no. Girl, I see your face every day when I look through my phone. Can't delete all these memories, won't leave me alone. Hit my blind side, never saw it coming. You were so wild, both know I was nothing. And I'm nothing now, nothing's changed, you know I'm just the same. Miss you now, but I hope that someday you explain. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you've told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be.
1 second, please. Oops, sorry. Of course, the kid yells as soon as I've got kids home right now. Oh my goodness. We've had a little stomach bug, and I think I've had a stomach bug on top of taking China tea. It's been fun. How's everyone doing? Good to see you all. Thank you so much for joining me. I am eternally grateful. So, we are going to be talking about numerous things today. We are going to be talking about summer wells. We are going to be talking about how many Americans go missing in Mexico every year. Right now, the United States is telling the American citizens to not go to Mexico right now. Specific places on top of that. And then we're going to be talking about if you guys hear outside noises, I'm sorry, my neighbor likes to rev things up when I go live, it feels like. We're going to be talking about a Louisiana businessman and dad, a Georgia man rather. He was found in Louisiana wrapped up in some carpet, and they said that there's no foul play. And I don't see how that is ever possible. But, it kind of reminds me of, forgive me, but she had a daughter. I can't think of her name right now. I apologize. Y'all will know. But they said she was found like with burn marks out beside of a highway. She was at the dollar store. It kind of reminds me of that. I don't buy either. Oh my God. Thank you, Angie B. Thank you, my love. Thank you, my love. Appreciate it. Justin, you look awesome in that color shirt. Well, thank you. I'm feeling kind of peachy today, honey. Thank you so much. Uh, so we just have a little breakdown every once in a while, but Someone help me with their name. Debbie Collier. Thank you. I see you. Thank you, Debbie Collier. I don't buy either one of those stories whatsoever. And we're going to talk about it. We got the timeline, all of that. We're also going to be talking about a mother of eight. Mother of eight has been missing for 3 months. 3 months. A mother of eight. She, oh my God, Nosy. Hey, girlfriend. Yes. Yes, eight. 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 Mother of eight. Thank you, Nosy. Thank you guys so much. Very kind. We just have a breakdown in the middle of while we're talking. So there is the Rogersville review. Haven't seen many people talk about this. Maybe because it's in the Rogersville review and a lot of people don't look at it. But Summer Wells, guys, so frustrating. I'm going to be doing a live fairly soon about Summer Wells, and it is more directed toward, I think, what we should do as a community, as creators as well. Because I think, to be quite honest with you, there's people who are getting in the middle of this, talking to uh, suspects and all of that, and they're not letting, I mean, people do their job. Like, I really, the only person I've ever interviewed publicly, particularly, is Jose, and that is it. Do we got some new members? Did we get some new members? Did somebody donate some new members? Thank you, my loves. Did somebody do it? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Um, so thank you to the new members. If somebody donated, please let me know in the chat mods. Nosy donated 5. Nosy, God bless you, honey. Thank you, my love. Thank you so much. You're so good to me, Nosy. Um, yeah, so let's get on it. Let's get on it. Thank you again, Nosy. All right. So this was an article from February 2nd, so about a month ago. Saturday marks the 7th birthday of Summer Wells, and nearly 20 months since she was reported missing at the Hawkins County Sheriff's Ronnie Lawson said the case has not gone cold. There's not a day that goes by that we don't check up on something in this case, Ronnie Lawson said. He told the review, it's definitely not a cold case, and everything is still on the table. Nobody wants to find her more than we do, he says. Lawson also noted, however, there is not a lot of new information on credible new leads. Now, sadly, a lot of times whenever these new leads, or when a case starts getting cold, I hate to say this, but there are some creators that make things a bigger deal than what they really need to be made, in my opinion. And these investigators, they don't have a lot of resources, um, and they have to check up on all of this. So we got to keep that in mind as well. And trust me, I have a lot of disagreements with Ronnie Lawson, but nonetheless, fair is fair, right? The TBI Public Information, Leslie Earhart, issued a statement this week acknowledging Summer's 7th birthday and the fact that the search of her continues. Now, this is what Leslie quoted. February 4th is Summer Wells' 7th birthday. She's been missing for nearly 20 months. The investigation into the circumstances surrounding the disappearance of Summer Wells remains active and ongoing. While we are frustrated at the lack of answers, we haven't given up and won't. So they have I truly do believe that the TBI wants and are doing everything that they can do given where they are in you know not actually being the lead of the investigation. Are doing everything that they can. um so let's talk about it. Earhart asks, anyone with Summer's disappearance on whereabouts, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND with credible information. Now, reported missing June 15, 2021, as we all know, Summer was 5 years old at the time. She was reported missing from her home on Ben Hill Road in the Beach Creek community, June 15, 2021. Her disappearance resulted in a massive 13-day search involving more than 1,100 searchers, right? So 2,200 eyes, not including police, and covering 4.6 square miles of rugged mountainous terrain surrounding her home. This is followed by months of intense investigation by the Hawkins County Office, the TBI, and the FBI. Police and rescuers again descended on the property during the last week of November 2021 and covered approximately an additional 350 acres. A dive team in the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. Notice that, Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. I will tell you, in my opinion, Sullivan County is also working this case probably more than we think. Probably more than we think. Also assisted in searching a nearby pond because where the wells are at, they're right on literally the border of the county. Searchers returned to Beach Creek in late February 22 for another search in the area. Neither of these searches nor the investigation have resulted. This is very interesting to me. Neither of the searches nor the investigation, listen to the words here, have resulted in information leading to Summer's recovery, or what happened to her. To me, that's very interesting language that they have used. Recovery. I do believe that Hawkins County and the TBI know a lot more than we do, for sure. A lot more than we do. And they're supposed to know more. I thought this was very interesting language. Her recovery, or what happened to her. That is correct. Recovery, not rescue. Which implies, in my opinion, that they know that Summer is gone. They know that, in my opinion. You can take it however you want to. I'm not here to think for you or make a conclusion for you. I'm telling you what I think. And based upon that, they, the TBI is like, they're searching for her recovery or what happened to her. So recovery generally means, I agree. I think we all know summer is gone. Yeah, yeah. And they may, this is the thing. TBI, Hawkins County may know like 100% that, you know, Summer Wells is gone, like 100%, right? But they just don't know where she's at, which is obvious. They don't know where she's at. So it's just interesting language, in my opinion. Yes, recovery in these circumstances always implies not alive generally. So, um, so do they know 100% that she's gone? They know more than we do, more than any YouTuber, that's for certain. Summer's parents, Don and Candace, posted a scathing letter to the Department of Children's Services on the Wells family official website. According to Don and Candace, the DCS refused to let them visit or communicate with their three sons. Well, Don and Candace, we do know that many months ago, when you had ample opportunity to visit them, I think you visited them one time because y'all were complaining that the drive was too far. Remember that? Remember that? They used the phrase recovered the remains. Yes, fill in the blank. I've never heard any officials say they rescued the remains. They rescued the living. Bingo, Stillwaters. Bingo. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That is correct. Federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, yes, in the fiscal year of 2021, the U.S. Marshal Service received 1,640 requests from law enforcement for assistance of missing child cases, rather, with assistance. I don't know. That's a good question, Stillwaters. And this is the thing. How many, because I'll tell you this. I feel like Summer Wells, I don't have any evidence of this. I'm just telling you how I feel. There is no evidence what I'm about to say, but I'm telling you how I feel. And I feel like she's been moved. She's been moved. We are looking for something. Uh, oh, hey, Fids. Good to see you, honey. I'm driving to Somersville, which I always think of you when I'm there seeing the farm. Oh, that's sweet. Good to see you. I just feel like, there's been so much in this case, right? And because people say so much, a lot of, the person or persons who did this can also kind of stay ahead as well. Yeah, I don't believe she's on that property. I don't believe she's on the Wells property. I do believe that she is close to that property, but I'm telling you guys, once you've been there, which I will be back down there sooner than later, um, you realize just being around the house, just like where your eyes can see, you're like, it's mind boggling. It is literally mind boggling how many places, and you're looking for something about the size of this paper. Literally, about the size of this paper. That's what you're looking for. Amongst a buku of acres, right? A buku. So, Don and Candace, they are complaining about not being able to see their kids. Did they ever complain about not being able to see the other kids? Candace's other kids? Did she ever complain about that? I don't know. But they are complaining about not being able to see these children. So feel how you want to feel about that. That's up to you. On the website, Don and Candace state, we are so grateful that we are being told that our boys are being well cared for by a helpful family. We do not understand why we are different than any other American families if we cannot talk to our boys or send them letters or any type of communication. Well, this is the difference. You have a child that is missing, that you, Don and Candace, are not even really being a part of, other than saying, I don't know the time frame. When you have a good time kind of just slips away from you. And it was 2 minutes. I fixed her knee brace, and that's about it. So let me show you this. Hold on a minute. Because I want to show you something. I want to show you something. Just asking. Does this look like a well cared for kid to you? I'm just asking. Oh, did somebody give some memberships? Thank you, my love. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. I'm just asking. In my opinion, of course, there are much better pictures of Summer Wells. Much better pictures of Summer Wells. Nobody's disputing that. Thank you for the gifted memberships. God bless you. But I want to know, because I'm going to tell you something. And there's things that I've never brought to YouTube. 30 new fabulous members. God bless you. Thank you so much. Hold on. Look at this. Look at the floor. Look at the floor around it. Has nothing to do with being poor. I want to tell you that. Nothing to do with being poor. Dirt and poor mean nothing. They don't. It's not the way it works. Okay? Look at that little girl. Look at that dang floor. It's not, it's, first of all, it's not finished. There's not even, it's just literally plywood. It's not sealed or anything like that, obviously. And look, I want to show you, how do I pause this thing? I want to go back. Hold on. You see this? This is when Summer was much smaller. Look at her teeth there. Look at her teeth. Look how pretty and white they are. Look how pretty and white, right? They're pretty and white. Okay. Now remember, Summer was only 5. See what I mean? But you see, I know how Candace specifically and her ex treated the other kids. I know that. I've talked to people directly. I don't bring it to YouTube, but Candace, I know how you treated your other kids. Not these kids here, your other kids. And let me tell you something, in my opinion, Summer and the boys, what you're seeing right now is a step above what her previous kids got to see. I'm just telling you. Isn't that right, ICU? Thank you so much to the new members. Thank you so much to the donators. Please thank the people that donated those memberships. If you received the membership, it's very kind of them. God bless you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Vet Girl, thank you so much. Thank you so much. If a child is not present, who with legal authority would allow communication with the child, BCD, yes. The risk of them possibly not being present is high. TBI, frustrated with the lack of answers. Yes, if a child A is not present, who with legal authority would allow communication. Exactly. Why would they allow communication with the other children when you still have a child missing and you haven't been cleared yet? Don and Candace, you haven't been cleared. Right? Thank you, Vet Girl. Thank you, Southern Girl. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Appreciate it, my loves. Very kind of you. So, why? Filth, dirt, drugs, no stability. Well, Candace took them places. Okay. She took them places. That's great. That's great. I mean, I'm glad she got him out of the damn house, out of that place. I've always said that look at the dark circles for the child, supposedly an outdoor type of person. It's a sign of malnutrition. Absolutely. There's no question. There's no question, in my opinion. Yes. Thank you, CR. Thank you, baby. God bless you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bingo. Bingo. Nutrition or neglect. There's nothing that anyone can ever say to me, in my opinion, that will convince me that Don and Candace are good people. Won't happen. Why? Right here. Multiple chances. These are children's lives. You know, you don't just get to throw children away And thank God other people want them, right? And they've been saved and they're doing great now, by the way. Uh, and then, go on off to another state and have a new set of family and get those taken away too. Listen, particularly, that is not a good person. It's not a good person. Listen, I was raised poor. We didn't have much at all. But I'll tell you what, we were clean. We were clean. We were fed. Our clothes were clean. Whenever went to school, the floor was clean. Poor has nothing to do with it. And this is the thing, Don and Candace, you actually weren't poor. Y'all made really good money compared to what I grew up with. It was all in what your priorities were. It was your priorities. And what was your priorities? Drinking, smoking, taking, drugs. That was your priorities. And I'll tell and particularly Don in that aspect. Don, in my opinion, he held the money and all of that. So, and those things are very expensive. It's very expensive. Exactly. Soap isn't expensive and a bottle of cleaner. Absolutely. A gallon of bleach and a scrub brush can do wonders. YouTube can make difference in getting awareness, but interviewing suspect locals without a law enforcement background is casing. I agree, Vet Girl. I agree. I don't think, in my opinion, um, I agree. I agree. And I want to talk about that more, but I want to do a special live. Cigs $20 a day, alcohol and soda $20. You could have fed your family well. That's it. That's it. Now listen, things are more expensive now than they were just a couple years ago with inflation and everything, right? A lot more expensive now. But you know, it doesn't take a lot, it just to eat decent. It really doesn't. Just a few fresh things, thrown on the plate. But you can't live healthy if the environment around you is totally filth. I mean, think about the air quality, and which they weren't obviously cared about, but think about what they were breathing, the toxins and everything that these and Don and Candace, which I mean, obviously wasn't their top priority with the drugs. I mean, we all put toxins on our skin and you know everything like that, but there's a there's a difference. There's a level. Um, Physical health, environmental health should have been priority. Absolutely. I mean, you look at the outside of their yard, right? And you are just thinking about tetanus 101 with these people. That's just, I mean, you just want a big tetanus shot whenever you see something like that. I'm sorry. Oh, absolutely. It was all about them. And in my opinion, the children took the back seat. You know, they took the back seat. Absolutely took the back seat. And their background says it says it all. It says it all. I mean, look at Dawn's background. And listen, and to be fair to Candace, and listen, I feel bad for Candace in this situation. When Dawn was in Utah, she didn't have a lot. And my heart actually felt really bad for Candace for that. You know, Dawn goes away with one of the kids. The rest are just left there without any income and everything else. And to be honest with you, Candace's mental, you know, age range, in my opinion, is not much more of a teenager, a young teenager at that. I don't feel like she got money to shop. Yeah, and Flo, you're absolutely right. I mean, I see. I don't know how I feel about that though, and when I think about it, because she was going to store all the time. She was going to get her vapes and everything, right, while Donnie was at work. So I'm kind of like, I understand what you're saying, but I also feel like, well, the day Summer went missing, she went to how many stores and got, you know, alcoholic beverages. She went and got vapes. It has been too long. You're right, Skittles. It's been way too long. And that's exactly right, Pit Mom. And listen, most of us aren't planned. Let's be honest with you. Most people are not planned. But in my opinion, in a particularly uh, volatile, unstable relationship that Don and Candace and many, many other people have, the kids is just something that happens of, during their DRUG, SEX, and rock and roll lifestyle. And the kids accumulate more or less. That is the way it is. But these are lives. The moment that happens, you change your stuff up. That is when you either grow up and change how things go, or you find them a home. Don't drag them into the toxic lifestyle that you live by. And if they don't want to change, the parents don't want to change, fine. Find them a home the moment they're born. That's what you do. Yes, guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button if you don't mind the jab. Don won't let her receive government. I've heard that jab. He leaves and she fends for herself. She left him before a month and right back. Remember, Grandis living on the property likely gave and bought things for them. Sure. And my 3 kids were all surprises, and I made dang sure they had a clean home, everything. Absolutely. It's really, it's said all the time, but once you have kids, it's no longer about you anymore. It is over. It's over for you for at least 18 years. I mean, it is. Um, They didn't pay rent. They didn't pay rent. They paid their DRUG dealer. Probably. Yep. Yep. And Don, he's hanging out with his hose and down the street, down the road, wherever, giving them all money. God forbid, the kids get some clean clothes and stuff. And let me tell you something, and it's selfish. It is selfish. And if that is true that Don wouldn't let him have assistance, it's selfish of him. But also, I think that they thought that might bring on CPS or something more toward them as well. They didn't want anything like that. Because, my best friend Tanya, who works for CPS, she's told me similar things like that before. They don't want it. They don't want their name attached with it. That way they can be off the books. Don Wells, he can't file for assistance because he was charged with fraud on the system, right? I don't know, to be quite honest with you, Vet Girl, about that. I don't remember. I'm sure someone in chat, right? Yes, their house was given to them. Well, let me tell you something. In Appalachia, our main cash crop is DRUGS. It's sad. A lot of people don't have an education, and there's not much industry in Appalachia, and that's where a lot of it goes. Okay, Don cannot receive benefits. Interesting. He's on the government's watch list. He's on a lot of watch lists, probably. No one ever gave me and my husband a house, a car, and even a shed. Yeah, that's right. That's right. He couldn't even, the man helped make $1 million homes, right, for locals in that area. And he couldn't even cover his floor. Not because he didn't have money, not because he didn't have time. It was simply the priorities. It was just simply the priorities. It's all about our priorities. Yes. His priority was himself. It absolutely was. And you know what? His priority is still himself. It's always been. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you, baby. He could have listened. Absolutely. Absolutely. I sound like Prayer Garden. Absolutely. So yeah, it's always been something. And you see these pictures. Of course, these aren't the best pictures of Summer Wells. There's much better pictures of her, but these are, in my opinion, the last few months of Summer Wells' life. There was a decline in that family. Something, I don't know if something was going on. It was after that car. I feel like it was like right around that time. Oh, of course, Janelle, those stairs. Listen, more than that, do you remember her bedroom, the dungeon without a window that I wouldn't? I mean, can you imagine as a kid? That's right, Stephanie. It's real. That's reality. Why dress it up? Yeah. Can you imagine? And they on the Dr. Phil show, they actually made them go there and clean it up, which I never understood. Like why Dr. Phil, wanted them to go clean it up and make it look different than what it was. Or why did and or why did Dawn say, we got to clean it up, or Candace or whatever? Why don't you show it the way it was shown before? Why didn't you show it like that? Like it was when Summer went missing. Because I'll tell you what, I can't see, and this is my opinion, I can't see a little girl running downstairs to play with her toys in a windowless room. She's going to take those toys and she's going to take them outside. She's going to bring them upstairs where her brother is or something, but she's not going to play in a windowless room in a dungeon when her brothers are upstairs having fun. Can't see it. Can't see it. Oh, yeah, let me go down into this dungeon and pit and let me play with my toys where there's, mold growing up the side of the wall. I mean, I would have loved outside too if I was Summer. It was a place of fresh air. A little girl run around, play, be a all-American little girl. She can dream, she can imagine, she can pretend. That's all she got. And it's freaking sad. It's freaking sad that she never, ever got to experience life. Thank you, Wild Cherry. God bless you, honey. Appreciate you. I won't go downstairs because I don't have a window and I'm 62 years old. Yeah. The house needed a pallet of bleach. Yeah. Now I wonder why Summer wanted to be outside in fresh air. Candace, how she and her ex treated her previous children, that I've told that I would never bring to YouTube, but I will say we know who you are, Candace. We obviously know who Don is. Look at his history. I wonder if the boys want to come home. I mean, I can't imagine them having a nice, clean home, um, their own room, stability, not their parents passing out, you know, rats, roaches, metal everywhere, screaming, cussing themselves on the phone, in person, dad going out, coming at any hour of the night. Uh, I can't imagine that they would miss that. Now, I listen. I will tell you this, as a person that has done emergency foster care, that parents can be the biggest, what we would consider the biggest pieces of crap, but obviously that is still their parents. They love them, right? And I get that, as any kid loves their parents because that's all they know. But as they get more secure and they learn about how life should actually work, how you should actually treat your children, give your children security, dental checkups, doctor visits, clean clothes, a clean home, nutrition, they realize, oh my God, my parents didn't give me that. Thank you, CR. The mattress gives me nightmares. Yeah. Yeah. The stench, just imagine, and the toilet, the sinks. Yeah. And as they get older, that is when they realize, I might have loved my parents, but did my parents, actions speak louder than words. You know what I mean? Actions always speak louder than words. A person can say, I love you, but those are just words unless action is put behind it. Do you show someone you love them? And to me, what we are seeing in these photos, this doesn't look like a house with love, in my opinion. It just doesn't look like a house with love. It looks like something from, I don't, from a commercial, you know, like help these children out from a different, almost a different country. But this is Hawkins County, Tennessee, 110 Ben Hill Road. It's America. And there's a lot of summer wells. There is a lot of children like this. It's not just summer. It's not just the boys, you know. I mean, Hawkins County has, I've been there multiple times. They have some of the great, Tennessee has some of the greatest people that you could ever meet. Good, caring individuals that don't have much, but they have love, they have respect, self respect, and give respect to others. And they manage their family just fine. But in this case, Don works in construction and he's got plumbing and wires hanging from the ceiling. The crazy thing is to me is that Don Wells did exactly. That's exactly right, Jenna. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, listen, I get it that a lot, like if your husband or your family members in construction, they don't want to come home and do stuff. I get it sometimes. But also they're not going to let, plumbing and wires be hanging from the damn ceiling. They're just not. They're just not. And at the end of the day, it really boils down to, decency. Decency. But, they're so grateful that the boys are being well cared for by a helpful family. Let me find that. We do not understand how we are different from other American families if we cannot talk to our boys or send them letters or any type of communication. This is the difference. A, most people don't have a missing child. B, the it's you are still not able to be cleared, Don and Candace, after nearly 2 years. So if you're not being able to be cleared, do you think they're going to let you talk to a potential suspect? Do you think that they are going to give your kids back to you when they have not been able to clear you? Question. What do you think? I don't think so. I don't think that, uh, trust me, I've talked to, who my girlfriend who is, we're obviously in a different state than Tennessee and all that. But do you think a CPS worker is going to let your kids go back when they can't even account for the one child that's missing and especially not able to clear out the parents? Not going to happen. But they have a court date coming up. No, that's right, Jeb. They're not getting them back. They're not getting them back. Nope. In my opinion, I'll just say, in my opinion. Y'all can have whatever opinion you want, but in my opinion, they're not getting them back. How about the most important requirement that CPS getting rehab and time clean? Yeah. Well, you heard from Candace's friend that she went to rehab. She lasted 1 day. What actions are they putting to get their kids back? Tell me. I mean, it's easy for Don to get on here and call us racist names and uh, cuss us from one end to, the other. Morning Glory. Oh, Morning Glory. You get it? Morning Glory. Sorry, I kill myself. I'm such a dork. But, I mean, not going to happen. No contact since Don got out of jail. There's a reason for that, in my opinion. CPS isn't going to reestablish contact after months if no Yeah, correct. Correct. It's sad I see kids who get help at home with homework, etc., and they fall behind. The tutoring we give our kids pushes them to the front. Yeah. Um, I don't know anything about Kathy. Listen, I mean, I think Kathy gave uh Candace a much more stable situation than she had. I'll say that. But I also think that she is, she can say, well, I know Don and Candace. Well, okay, you know them, but do you know all of them? Did you know them when they had kids? Because listen, I'm going to tell you something. The person I was before kids when you have kids, for most human beings, we are totally different individuals. Totally different individuals. Did you know Candace when she had kids? But for most of us, we change when we have kids. We don't worry about ourselves anymore. But that never stopped Don and Candace. Are, they never stopped worrying about themselves because they had kids. It was always about them. They may have already lost custody and may court is just finalization. Correct. Very potential. Don has never met Rose ever. He can't tell the truth about simple things like that. Candace Well needs to get a legal professional and a lawyer, a privilege, and ask the hard questions about leaving. Yeah, I mean, wasn't court yesterday? What is today? March. No, they have a court date in, isn't it May? If Kathy was such a good friend, she would have left Candace in rehab for this. Yeah, Angela, I agree with that. Leave her sitting there. But I personally don't believe that it's like. Good morning. Good morning. My two daughters are my number one priority, and my pets. I absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't let my dog be on the mattress that her kids had to sleep on. Candace is not going to leave Dawn. Nope. Candace is not going to leave Dawn unless she's able to get away from him and she's able to substitute Dawn with another person. Because let's be honest with you, Candace has to have someone taking care of her. She does. I don't think she's got it, to be honest with you, to be able to take care of herself, to be honest with you. Yeah, Kimberly. And that's always been my thing. That's really always been my thing. If Dawn and Candace absolutely did nothing to Summer, if they have no knowledge or nothing at all to do with Summer, I still don't believe they are good people. I still don't believe they are good parents. They, or at least Candace, was not wasn't was there admittingly when Summer went missing. I mean, how can you be literally feet away and not hear nothing in 2 minutes? Not a car door, not falling down the hill with the kid, running down the hill, door slamming, kids screaming, engine going, rocks flying, like a motor, you know, like how can you not hear anything? Because that has to be a lot of movement in 2 minutes, which the 2 minutes is quite BS to begin with. Yes, Connie, I'm sorry. Justin, you said that foster kids love their real parents even if they don't want to live with them. So I wonder if they will contact them when they are adults. I don't know. That's up to them. If you do drugs, You're a bad parent. You might love your kids, but you are a bad parent. Yeah, you're right. Listen, you can only have one, there can only be one priority in all of our lives. In all of our lives, there's one thing that is center stage in all of our lives. It might be our husband, might be our wife, it might be, if you have kids, in my opinion, it should always be your kids. Um, it can be addiction, it can be this, it can be that, but there's only one thing that can always be priority number uno. And if you are addicted, I promise you, as being clean over 10 years now, if you are addicted, it is always priority number uno, addiction. That's just the way it is. How is it okay for a child to be just gone? How is it okay for her parents not to answer? Someone please explain that to me. I understand. Our kids, our bills, our health. Absolutely. You can love other things. You know what I mean? Absolutely, Jeb. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't love their kids or an addict doesn't love their kids. I'm talking about a priority, right? The priority is like I made, like I was not ever going to be addicted to something and have kids. That was a huge motivation for me to get clean. Congratulations, Joe. Because that's you've got to have a priority. Life changing, absolutely. It's definitely not their strong suit. Definitely not their strong suit. So now listen to this though. A girl, Vancouver, 8 years old, missing since 2018, found in Mexico. Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi. Yes. Usually Diet Pepsi. Vancouver, Washington. A Vancouver girl has been missing for 4 years, has been found alive in Mexico, says the FBI. How do you pronounce her name? I have no idea. That Aranza Maria Ochoa Lopez, 8 years old, went missing October 2018. So before Summer Wells. Before Summer Wells, right? Was found safely and returned to the United States this month, or last month, sorry, February 2023, after being recovered in, however you pronounce this, Mexican. There we go. Michoacan, Mexico. She was kidnapped by her biological non custodian mother from a Vancouver shopping mall. The FBI issued a person poster and was able to determine that she had been taken to Mexico, but did not have a way to recover her. Her mother was arrested in Vancouver in 2019, but the child remained in Mexico with her location unrevealed. In February of this year, last month, Mexican authorities were able to locate and safely recover the girl. The FBI special agents escorted her back to the United States. For more than 4 years, the FBI and our partners did not give up on Aranza, is that how you pronounce her name? And Richard A. Uh, Coldy, special agent in charge of the FBI Seattle field, our concerns now will be supporting Aranza and as she begins her reintegration into the United States. Can you imagine, like, the most, like, she probably speaks Spanish better than she does English now, right? Because that, you know, growing up the first few years. Thank you, Clementine. Thank you, my love. Thank you so much. Welcome to the family. Appreciate it. And guys, please welcome Joanna Joy 84 to the Justin for All family. Say hello to your brothers and sisters. So yeah, it's thank God she's back. It sounds like she's been through the meal, and I don't think that we're going to get that outcome for summer, to be quite honest with you, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But there's a lot of cases right now with Americans in it in Mexico. There's a lot of them. And more Americans are unalived in Mexico every year, more than you realize. Right now, the United States is saying, don't go to Mexico, it's not safe. And I'm about to tell you some statistics on this because it's quite frightening, to be quite honest with you. It's scary down there. I mean, I've been to Mexico many, many times. Um, I've always felt rather safe. I usually stay in very safe parts, but I have been to Mexico City, and that was not as safe. I will say that, and that was several years back. So I don't think I would go right now, to be quite honest with you. Um, Thank you so much. Appreciate it again. Spring break is coming up. Absolutely. Tell them, girl. That's right. It's gonna be bad. Gonna be bad. Don't need it. Don't want it. Mm-mm. Gonna be a circus down there. Okay, sorry. Couldn't help it. Lots of cartels. Yes. All right, here we go. The number of Americans killed in Mexico every year might be more than some might expect, with a significant percentage of those deaths attributed to homicide. Since January, the U.S. Embassy in Mexico has had do not travel warnings in place for several regions, uh, including these places. I have no idea how to say them. Sinaloa and Matamoros. Sounds like a platypus. Sorry. Because of the threat of violence in the areas. The latest warning came after the violent kidnapping of the Americans by a Mexican DRUG cartel. The Americans were traveling southeast of the border in Mata, wherever, on the road trip. Two of them, Zindel Brown and Shandy Woodward, were Killed, while the other two, Tay and Eric Williams, were rescued and escorted over the border into the military, or the Mexican military, and the National Guard on Tuesday, Mexican officials said. Mexico has a far higher homicide rate than the US. In 2020, there were 28 deaths per 100,000 in the country compared to the United States, which is only 7 per 100,000. The World Bank figures show this is despite Mexico having a population less than 40% the size of America. So that is that's some numbers, people. I mean, they have 40% less people, 40% less people than the United States, right? We have like 315, 320 million. 28 deaths per 100,000. We have 7. So it's basically like 8 times the rate once you factor it all in. That's insanity. Absolute insanity. So, there were 149 deaths of the U.S. citizens in Mexico in 2020. In 2020, 149, and that's what we know of. In 2020, 2021, there were 203 American deaths. 75 were homicides, with vehicle accidents comprising the next most common, which was 47. And January and 22, between January 2022 and June of 2022, there were 115 deaths of U.S. citizens, which were 25 were homicides. And that's just within 6 months. That's a lot. And that's just what we know of, right? Just what we know of. So, wanted to run that across you. Now we need to talk about another case. Guys, I'm telling you, this does not sit right with me. Doesn't sit right with me. The cartels run Mexico. They're moving into the US. Listen, it's really bad at the border right now. That's all I'm going to say. It's really bad at the border, and something needs done, in my opinion. So, investigators in Louisiana attempted to piece together how Georgia man on business trip died. Who moved his body? Now, guys, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, because I can't believe what the police are saying here. They're saying this man died on a business trip. There's no one involved in his murder except someone moved him and rolled him into a carpet. Is it just me? I mean, tell me, is it just me? Because I don't believe him. No, don't believe him. Can't believe it. You just can't. I mean, somebody moves you, but nobody's involved. Oh, let me just move this dead body right here. Let me just roll him up so nobody's going to see him. All right. So, a Georgia man mysteriously died during a business trip in Louisiana, and loved ones and police are searching for answers, which I'm going to show you the timeline in a little bit. We're going to dig a little deeper into this. I'm just kind of giving you the story right now. Around 3:30 a.m. on March 6th, okay, 3 days ago, Millard's body was found in Baton Rouge, and police are looking into how he got to where he was found. On March 7th, the family of Nathan Miller, only 42 years old, told WAFB that an autopsy was completed and investigators said it showed no internal or external trauma to the body. At a news conference the same day, the Baton Rouge Police Department confirmed foul play is not suspected in the case as of now. Hines said where Millard's body was found was, quote, most likely not where he died. I know that there was, I know he was placed there, and obviously by another individual. Why would, we would like to know who and why, Captain Kevin Hines said, adding, but just from the autopsy results that we were given by the coroner's office, at this time, it doesn't appear to be any signs of foul play. The official cause and manner of death are still pending based upon the completion of the autopsy final report. Further studies still need to be completed, including toxicology testing. Loved ones told WAFB authorities believe that Millard may have died from an accidental overdose. And look, we're asked whoever put him there if anything happened and there was a moment of panic come forward, Hines said. I mean, that could be. We just want to know what happened to him. Our goal is to find out what happened to him. Millard, a father, was missing for nearly 2 weeks after he left on a business trip to Baton Rouge. On February 22nd, he and his client reportedly went to the LSU basketball game before heading downtown to a bar. Millard was recorded on surveillance video and other businesses later in the night. And Hines said he appeared to be at those locations under his own power, end quote. And there didn't appear that there was anything taking place criminally. And here is a picture of him. Now I have some more videos and stuff that I do want to show you in a second if I can pull it up. Okay, it's the New York one. Okay. So he said he rolled down his, okay, where was that? Let me find it. Nathan Millard, 42, was dumped in a vacant lot at Baton Rouge, wrapped in plastic and rolled up in a carpet after he reportedly died of an accidental overdose. Police, okay. The motorist described how he made the gruesome discovery, telling the condition of that he noted a strange smell that he was driving while driving about 3 a.m. Monday. The driver identity was verified by EquiSearch, a team based, we obviously know who EquiSearch is, based nonprofit group working in Baton Rouge police on the mysterious case, according to the outlet. He said he rolled down the window and was overcome by a powerful odor. It's just something I don't think I can ever forget, the man told the news outlet. It smelled like something was bad or something was rotting. At first, I thought it was a dead animal, but I didn't see anything. The man said he got out of his vehicle to investigate and poked around with a flashlight, which illuminated a carpet. At first, I thought it was someone throwing out food, and then I saw the feet. That's when I got really scared, and my stomach was just turning in knots. I was really terrified because I've never ever seen or found a deceased person, the driver told you WK. So, I mean, he looks like a, responsible guy. He's just on a business trip. Maybe he was just kind of partying or a little something. Maybe he did take a little, but regardless, there is someone that sent him there in a rolled up carpet with plastic. I was pretty much terrified. I didn't know what happened. Millard's family said investigators told them that he likely died of an overdose. We still don't have the toxicology back, but that's what they're saying because there's nothing from the outside that says he should be dead or from his, autopsy, other than we're just waiting for the toxicology. So Millard, who traveled from Baton Rouge to stake out a prospective gig for his construction company, had gone to a Louisiana State University basketball game and uh, a Happy's Irish pub with a client on the night of February 22nd. He left the pub alone around 11:30 after being cut off for allegedly having too much to drink and headed back to his nearby hotel, but was not heard from the next morning. On Tuesday, police said Millard went to a Greyhound bus station about an hour after leaving the bar. A security guard there offered to call him a ride or call police, but he declined. Meanwhile, new surveillance video captured him walking with a mystery man who keeps falling over in the hours leading up to the disappearance. Now he's seen walking with this mystery man. This is supposed to be a picture of him leaving the bar. To me, it looks just like pixels. I don't know about you, but I mean, maybe I see something, but not really much. Yeah, it's kind of true. Yeah. I mean, if you see a dead animal, do you stop and see? Oh, what's that smell? Oh, it's a dead animal. Let me go look at it. Hello. That's roadkill. Let's eat it. Get over here. Get over here, Jinkies. Get over here. Um, the encounter reportedly occurred before Millard refused help from a security guard. Millard is survived by his wife, Amber, their 7-year-old daughter, two teenage sons from a previous marriage, and two teenage stepsons. Amber said she last spoke with him when he FaceTimed her to show her the seats he and his clients secured for the Hoops game. It was not anything I ever thought would be my last call, she said. Now, this is the timeline that we know of this guy. I don't know. It just like something is just off, I feel like, here. Let me see if it'll. Come on, man. New photos show new clues. All right, sorry. So he leaves the Hartford Jackson, which is in Atlanta, hot Atlanta, on February 22nd, and he is not found until March 6th, 3 a.m. Millard's body is found wrapped in a plastic and in carpet in a vacant. Listen, this is the thing though. Like, I feel like, I mean, he could have had a secret life. There's lots of men that do. I'm just saying. But that's none of my business. It's none of my business. It's none of my business. A whole lot of men, yeah, there is. You're right. You'd be surprised. Anywho, but there's this guy that he's walking with that's really drunk, but he's not able to stand up either. Like, would he be able to roll him up in a carpet? But is the other guy missing too? Who knows? That's the thing. All right, we're gonna keep. Maybe this was the one I was looking for. Found dead March 6th. Okay, now there's one more story that I want to tell you guys before we go, because it's an important story. It really is, and it's a mother of 8. A mother of 8, and she needs found, like, pronto. If I can find the damn thing. Just a second. Okay, here it is. I got it. Just want to show you this before we go, because it needs awareness. Nobody's talking about it. FBI believe missing mother of 8 was unalived after last call to her children. The FBI is seeking information in the case of a mother of 8 who they believe may have been been murdered after her truck was found abandoned and on fire with her hair and BLOOD in the car. I think so, guidance. I think she's in Michigan. All right, listen to this.
To meet somebody that she had never met. As you mentioned, that was back on New Year's Eve. Her cousin says she's going to do whatever she can to track her down.
There's literally no trace, and it's not her.
Shannon Christian is trying to track down her cousin and her friend, Lynn Kim, because that's what Lynn would do for her.
Now, I'm just going to tell you this right now. We pretty much know, in my opinion, who did it. But we just don't know where she is. So, Clinton Township.
No matter what, we would always have each other's backs, and we always have, for the most part. She's always been there for me through so much.
The two were very close until November, the same time that Lynn had met someone online on meetme.com.
She met this guy. He lived in Bronx, New York.
Bronx, New York. Bronx, New York. She has 8 kids. 8 kids.
And that's where she was going.
Things changed quickly from there.
She would stay on FaceTime with him, morning to night. He wouldn't let the kids go in her bedrooms.
Shannon says Lynn started cutting people out of her life, and it all came to a head on New Year's Eve.
That's a sign. If you know somebody that are the Bronx, not Bronx. I didn't know if it was the Bronx or Bronx. Yeah. Is there? Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the Bronx. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. Wish I had 8 kids. Oh, I wish you did too. I see you. Controlling. Yes. That's what they do. And yeah, I'm just gonna and I don't mean to be judgmental when I say this. I don't mean to be judgmental. But to be honest with you, there's not a lot of men out there who's going to take on 8 kids that are of good stature, let's say. Let's be honest, right? 8 kids. This guy was clearly not probably the best.
December 31st, she took off with some of her stuff. And from what I just found out today, January 4th was any contact that was made.
That's when this mysterious man delivered those searching for Lynn an ominous message.
Saying like things like, you'll never find her. You know, we're in California.
Lynn texted her 3 kids, "I love you," and then nothing since.
I'm 6.
The last thing she ever said, which it sounds like this mother may have had some problems, right? Sounds like he definitely has some problems here. Hard enough to find a good person when you have more than just one. That's right, Britt. Yeah, that's right. You know, if you have kids and you find somebody that will treat your kids like theirs, which, to be honest with you, it's a hard thing. You're lucky, but 8 kids, no.
Years old, having nightmares for his mom.
And it's not just Shannon who's worried.
Her mom is from South Korea. She barely speaks any English. Her mom's been emailing her, no response.
A missing persons report has been filed in Clinton Township where Lynn and her...
So the man writes, "You're never going to find her. Mom vanishes after meeting the Bronx man online." Well, she was looking for love in all the wrong places. All the wrong places. You're never going to find her. It sounds, I mean, these people that they're meeting and they're just going across state lines, and like, you don't know if they're serial offers or not, right? You don't know.
kids live, those searching for her desperate for answers.
Lynn, if you're okay, you need to let us know that you're fine. You are loved.
And there's more reason for concern. Shannon says Lynn's social media accounts have all gone dark and her phone is off.
She still hasn't been found. Her truck was found burned with, and they found her hair and some other things. She's described as having blonde hair and brown eyes, being about 5'8" and weighing about 125 pounds. She's always wearing a silver heart bracelet and has tattoos on her forearms depicting a lion, a rose, and a dream catcher. The FBI established a substantial search effort for Miss Kelly, who has now been missing for nearly 3 months. I wondered that too. Who has her kids? Why would she just leave them? That's what I'm saying, Mama's the boss. To me, it sounds like she may have had some issues, right? I mean, stay away from online dating, yeah. Or do it really responsibly. Like, don't just go across state lines and you have kids and meet someone out there, especially if they're not allowing, making you stay away from your family and stuff. She left home around 9 p.m. on December 10th, last year now, calling her children about 90 minutes later at 10:30 to say that she would return home soon, but she never did. Her truck was found the following day in North Sprinkle Road and East Michigan Avenue in Comstock Township, east of Kalamazoo, in southwestern part of the state. Here's a photo of her, and it looks a little different. She looks a little different in each of them. The Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Office revealed in December that her truck was burning when it was located, that her blood and hair were found inside after the fire was put out. Members of the family have said that her boyfriend is a person of interest in the investigation and that he was detained for 4 days after Miss Kelly vanished, adding that he's in federal custody. When Miss Kelly left her home, she told her children that she was going to see her boyfriend at a halfway house. Sounds like a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yeah, not so. Don't sound so good, does it? Now listen. The boyfriend hasn't been charged in connection with the case. He remains in jail on federal hold that expires on April 26th. He was on federal parole, and has been serving a sentence at a halfway house for drug-related crimes in 2010, which include a murder for hire plot. You heard that right. So we basically know that she's not alive, in my opinion. So, so sad, man. 8 kids. The halfway house is located 2 miles from where Miss Kelly's cousin found Miss Kelly's pickup truck on December 11th, shortly after it had been set aflames. The cousin told police that she had seen a red pickup truck drive away at a high rate of speed just before she arrived. DNA test revealed that the blood found in the car was Miss Kelly. The boyfriend said in a letter to a federal judge that he took his tether off because one of Miss Kelly's brother had sent him death threats via text message. The brother was even sending pictures of an AR-15 GUN RIFLE. According to the letter, the brother rejected the allegations when speaking to other news outlets. The boyfriend requested an early release, saying that he needed heart surgery, but the request was denied. After getting search warrants from the boyfriend's phone, Facebook accounts, email, detective found that the boyfriend hadn't been truthful. Imagine that. With investigators. He said he last seen Miss Kelly when she was dropped off at the halfway house at noon on December 10th. But phone records and GPS data from his tether show that they were at the Park Club, a private dinner club where he worked. His phone was turned off that night, but it was later tracked to an area near where the truck was found. The tether was also shut off and wasn't turned back on till the following morning. Investigators say that he turned off the phone was an indication of premeditation, that it supports the theory that Heather Kelly had been the victim of a bad crime, we'll just say. Court records state the nonprofit Silent Observer has offered a reward as much as $5,000 in information leading to her being found. The FBI, Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Office are asking the public for help. Those with tips are asked to call Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Office at area code 269-383-8748 or the Portage Police at area code 269-329-4567. Information can also be shared at tips.fbi.gov. so not sounding good for this Miss Kelly, mother of 8, and we will. Yeah, it is crazy. It's very crazy, and what I have sympathy for is right here, the poor children, and they just want to know where their mother's at, and their mother's not coming home. Clearly not coming home. So at least he didn't move in with her, hurt the kids. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But, pieces of crap like this don't want to be around kids. So, but yeah, at least the kids weren't hurt. Again, there's, we were talking about Summer Wells in the beginning of this. And like I said, it's not just the Wells. There's a lot of Summer Wells kids out there. Lots of them. Lots. So, with that being said, guys, I want to thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, for your support. Thank you so much for the memberships, for the donations. I can't thank you enough. God bless each and every one of you. Justice for Summer Wells, and justice for all of these victims that we have talked about today. It's a crazy world. It's a very crazy world out there. And stay vigilant. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. So important. God bless each and every one of you. Do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And if you haven't hit the thumbs up button yet, I would really appreciate it. It means a lot for the channel and getting these stories out there. Thank you all. I love you. I honestly love you. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.